Hello, welcome, or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I don't know. Couldn't barely get it out of my mouth. Jeez. My name is Liz, and I will attempt to guide you through this journey today. This is a reading for Leo, wherever Leo is in your chart. I hope that you are all doing well. Did I do Leo already? No. Okay. Weird. I'm like having weird deja vu. If I did, then bonus, but I don't know. Maybe I was just talking about Leo in another reading. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe you guys are having bouts of deja vu in your lives. What do we have for Leo? Anything? No, sometimes it just takes a little longer for the right cards to get in the right place. We don't take the cards that flip in the deck though, because we want commitment like that. We want commitment over here. And all of my decks know that. We have the Knight of Pentacles, which is also kind of interesting since it is taking a little longer. That's too many cards. Okay. No, that was like 5 cards. No, too many. But yeah, like since it is taking a little longer for your cards to come out because the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving a lot of the times. Okay. What else for Leo? Like we're gonna send out multiple cards whether you want it or not. It's fine. 3 is fine. 5 too many. So hello, Knight of Pentacles, Judgment, 6 of Swords, 2 of Swords. Interesting. Let me just make sure everything is in frame here. And honestly, it feels like either it's taking some time to make a decision, or like it's taking some time to even like learn the lesson is coming through. Also too, like as I'm like just sitting here and I actually like I have my eyes closed. I literally just started thinking like, do I want to do this? Which also feels like very Judgment card. We have the Judgment card out here. even with the Knight of Pentacles, because, all right, so let's just start at the beginning. Let's just focus. So, like I said, the Knight of Pentacles, out of the 4 knights that we have, is the slowest moving knight. It's Earth too, which, I just kind of feel like Earth has a tendency to move a little slower. I even just like in my head, I was like imagining the rotation of the Earth, like how it takes 24 hours to make one full rotation, right? Which isn't even necessarily like slow or fast. It just is, right? Which is also even kind of like how this reading too. It's like it just is. Whatever is like coming through, whatever is going on too. It's like it is. But Pentacles, our money, worth, value, our time, our energy, how are we investing those things? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's our physical health and our body. Anything tangible, anything that we place worth and value on. With the Knight of Pentacles, I always get this feeling about not contributing the pace of something to the success of it. Like if something is not going at the pace, or you're not reaping the rewards in a pace that you expected to or that you want to. That was weird. Don't use that as a measurement for success or failure. Because also with the Knight of Pentacles, it does require commitment and dedication. We can see that the silhouette is like working on this pentacle, and it's almost like mastering a craft, which also feels like very 8 of Pentacles. But it's like, by the time, so the Page of Pentacles is the apprentice, right? Like they're the newbies at a job, at a skill, at a field of study, whatever it is, right? They're the newbies. By the time that we get to the Knight of Pentacles, then it's almost like they've made it through that apprentice stage. They recognize that this is something that they do find important, that they find to be valuable and worth the effort, the time, focusing your resources in, learning to master it. And again, not using time or pace as the gauge for mastery or success, or whether you continue or not too. Because even like with these wood pieces here, it's almost kind of like you have either you have enough materials and resources to do what you want to do, to master the thing, to become an expert in the thing, to dedicate, yourself, your time to it. Or it's, again, even with that, having the ability to replicate. You know, it's like building muscle memory almost. And definitely by the Knight of Pentacles, like you are starting to see change. You are starting to see your own mastery in something. You are starting to see even how it manifests for you, because, you know, it's almost like even with tarot, right? Like it's learning the basics. It's learning, you know, the traditional meanings of each card. But then what's coming through your intuition on that? Even if it's not, you know, like yesterday, I think that's probably what I was actually talking about, Leo. Yesterday, I think it was a Cancer reading. The Strength card came out in the reverse. And I was like, oh my God, I keep getting the Hanged Man energy from this card. And I was explaining why. And I shit you not, at the bottom of the deck was the Hanged Man. And that card wasn't coming through as like the traditional meaning of the Hanged Man. But, right, it's like you understand the basics. You have a good foundation here because you got that when you were a page. And now it's like, how can I make this my own? Like, how does this jive with my energy? How do I want to manifest this literally into physical form? You know, actualize it into the 3D, like where we are, right? Like, and whatever that is for you, whether, you know, it's what you do to make an income, what you do with that income. Again, it can be your physical body. It could be the spaces that you spend your time in. It could even be who you allow to spend time with you, right? But it's like, now that you have, like, again, a foundation for that, how do you want to mold and shift and change and all of those things? There's no doubt some level of like transformation, or and not even, or like some level of transformation, definitely substantial growth, and a big decision. We have 2 literal decision cards on the 3, actually. That's interesting. And they all came out together, which is also interesting. The Judgment card is Pluto, which in is it modern astrology, is Scorpio. What's going on in Scorpio right now? Mars is in Scorpio. Sorry, I feel like both my dog and I just like zoned out for a sec. So the Judgment card is the card that comes before the World card, right? Like, I know we don't have the World card out here, but this is the place. This is the time. This is the energy where you decide that you got what you needed to get, even out of this Knight of Pentacles, because it is coming after the Knight of Pentacles. So if you have whatever you have been focusing your energy, your time, your money, all the shit that I was talking about with Pentacles, in something, in yourself, in a project, in a craft, whatever it is, truly the judgment card is like, it is time to take a substantial leap forward. And it does feel substantial. It does not feel like it's like, oh, okay, I learned how to screw these nails in, so now I'm going to learn how to sand, or I don't know. I don't know. Like, trying to think of, it's almost like you had a vision. This is how it's like coming through for me. It's like you had a vision of, like, when you started here, whatever this Knight of Pentacles is, you had a vision for what it was going to turn into, the direction that you wanted to head in, the ladder you wanted to climb, whatever it is. And now the Judgment card is like, it is time to go there. Make that leap. Start expressing yourself, or that's really weird. Expressing yourself, communicating is coming through. It's, again, like you have the foundation. And now it's time even to start playing too. I mean, we have this cicada here, like their little exoskeleton has already been. So that's why I'm like, there's definitely like a substantial amount of growth happening here. And it is a decision. Even when you think of a judgment, right? Like through a court or whatever, like there's evidence presented from both sides on one subject, right? Like they're either for or against whatever the case or the judgment is going to be, right? And then the judge, who would be you, takes all of that evidence, all of that information that has been provided, and they rule on it, right? Like they pass judgment. So again, right, it's taking everything that you have been working on with the Knight of Pentacles and saying, actually, I am ready for those next steps. I am ready to move beyond being in this Page of Pentacles energy. And maybe too, it was just because like you were so focused on the thing that, it's like you haven't even come up for air yet, or very often, right? But now it's almost kind of like the powers that be, like just the energy is available for you to take that next step. To grow, to expand, even of course to like grow wings here and see what that's like, and then like I said, right, we have the Six of Swords, which is also a decision. The Six of Swords, swords in general, since we have two swords out here, swords in general talk about our mind, our mindset, intellect, logic, truth, and honesty, but like divine truth, right? It's absent of opinion or feeling. It's literally based on what can be proven fact, right? I also see swords as being the suit of ego, because That's generally where we tend to hear our ego, is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, places, things, circumstances. And it becomes our belief system. It becomes the reasons why we do and don't do things. It's the reason why you've even been in the Knight of Pentacles energy. It's what's going to get you through, into, out of, the Judgment card. And the Six of Swords is all about allowing your mindset to move forward. In the traditional Rider-Waite tarot, and in most, depictions of the Six of Swords, there's people on a boat that are moving from choppy waters to more peaceful waters, which is interesting because water represents our emotions, right? But it's more of a logical take. It's allowing yourself to move out of, or even be guided out of, turmoil. It is even just a change in mindset. Literally, changing your mind can change your whole life. Even, going from thinking you're not ready to knowing you are. And I also kind of feel like that takes a lot of trust in yourself. Too, because it's like, it's going from having guidelines and boundaries, right? Like bumpers on a bowling alley or whatever, to just, literally it being up to you. And even like with the bowling analogy, which I was kind of like, that's kind of random. But even that, right? Like that, then you start relying on that muscle memory. Sure, you might end up throwing some balls in a gutter, but for the most part, your muscle memory is going to kick in. You already, like, having those bumpers there allowed you to make little tweaks and changes with how you throw the ball down the thing. And then you repeated that however many times. Granted, I'm not saying you're like a bowler. I'm just saying, going back in relation to the Knight of Pentacles and developing that muscle memory, because there's all of this practice back here, right? And now it's like, taking the bumpers off, shedding that student part, and allowing yourself to be more in the, if it's not master, it's like, what would be like below that? Not novice, because I think novice is new-ish, right? Advanced, intermediate, beyond just having, the basic foundation. Now it's time you start playing, because look, speaking of play, right, and imagination, we have these six swords, and literally, the pointed edges of them, or the sharpest parts of these swords, has been taken off and replaced with flowers. How creative is that? This also even feels like stop fighting yourself. Also too, like even taking off it's going to be the same analogy, so I don't want to say that. I was going to say taking off the training wheels, but that's like the same thing as the bumpers in bowling. Like, and not to mention, like I was saying, this is like more of the vision that you had when you started, right? Like, taking something and reimagining it in a way that is unique to you. This really almost even feels like make love, not war, you know? And then the Two of Swords, I love how there's this rope that, I mean, it's literally hanging on by one thread. I mean, literally just one more contact with, you know, the sharp edge of one of these swords, and that'll be cut. And again, the decision is yours. It's like literally right there. All you have to do is just be like, change your mind. I feel like all three of these cards that literally all came out together, right? Like all three of these cards are literally telling you to make a decision in three different ways. You know, transformation here, growth, you know, ready to fly. This one about expressing your creativity, even too, since it does represent the mind, it's bringing to life what it is that goes through your head. Even if it's like communication, it doesn't even have to be art. It doesn't have to be a craft. I mean, truly it is like whatever your situation is, you know, starting to even communicate that and be like very upfront with that too. And then the Two of Swords, traditionally the Two of Swords is about indecision. It's more to like indecision is, what is that? Okay. The Matrix. There's a couple different. One of them, I think it was the white rabbit in the newest Matrix. I can't remember what the name of that one is, but I'm sure it was probably said in the first Matrix too. But she said, choice is just an illusion. You already know what you want to do. That's the Two of Swords. The Oracle in the first Matrix said something along the lines, and I'm probably paraphrasing, something along the lines of, you've already made the decision. You're here to figure out why you made that choice. And that's sometimes too like where we get stuck. One, we already know the decision or the choice we want to go with. We're just either judging ourselves or feeling shame or guilt or fear even too around that. Or we have made the decision already, and now it's like, why would I make that? Like, why would I go with that one? Again, it's usually that questioning, that, you know, uncertainty is usually fear, shame, guilt, doubt, you know, perfection even. Truly, all three of these cards are like you're one decision away. Or even just, again, like a slight change. Because, I mean, even if you just move one of these swords enough, it'll cut through. Or, you know, it'll cut through this one. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see that. So I don't know. You know, it's literally hanging by like one thread here. Or even just allowing yourself to explore like what it is that you're hung up here on with the decision. What's holding you back? Also, I mean, you do have Pluto, like whatever placements you have in Leo, especially if they are early degree Leo, you do have Pluto opposing those things right now. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. You know, that's the birth, life, death process. It's the whole cycle. So you could even possibly be feeling just some pressure from that. But you wouldn't be feeling that pressure if you weren't ready for the next thing. Now it's time, you know, to use that foundation and, you know, expand on it, grow. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck, even though, I mean, I already looked in the beginning. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I love that we're still hanging out. And if you haven't done so already, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. It helps YouTube push my videos out. Like the video, comment, save it, share it. Those are all free ways that you can help support me and help support this channel and these messages. Otherwise, I'm just grateful that, like I said, that you're still here, and me too, in this reading. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck, and yeah, how effing perfect is that? Because what's behind the Eight of Cups? Is that in here? Yeah. I don't know why I keep questioning that. Like, I always like think that it's like so far like off the side of the screen or something. The Magician, which is literally the card of you have everything that you need in order to manifest the thing that you want to do. There's literally one of every element on this card: a cup, a sword, a pentacle, a wand, which it's very, you know, like swords heavy. We have water here with judgment because it's Scorpio. And then earth here, which I think that's specifically Virgo, I believe, is the Knight of Pentacles. But literally, the Magician is this reminder, or I want to say like a kick in the pants is like what's coming through my head, of truly you have every single thing that you would need in order to manifest whatever the Six of Wands is. You know, because I feel like this is even just a, you know, imagery of what is in your mind that you want to create. Even just, you know, a lifestyle that is unique to you, or whatever it is, a job, you know, a career, an offering. It could be a craft, it could be art, it could be a relationship, whatever it is. Also, too, with the Magician, I always think of Harry Potter and the Sword of Gryffindor, because the Sword of Gryffindor shows up to exactly who needs it at the exact time that they need it for the exact purpose that they need it for. That's the Magician. It's like you have enough time, you have enough, you know, resources, you have enough energy, motivation, knowledge, emotional capacity, you know, love of the thing. You have exactly what it is that you need to get started, and anything that you need along the way. Connections, more resources, more passion, more, you know, whatever, direction, blah, 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 you know, all of the things. Whatever you need will show up for you at exactly the time that you need it for the exact purpose that you need it for. And there's a level of trust that goes into that as well. We have the Eight of Cups behind, which is literally about leaving behind what is no longer serving you. Allowing yourself to move forward, because of course the card that comes after the Eight of Cups is the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, having your desires met, feeling fulfilled and purposeful. And it's recognizing that the cups that you have around you now have served their purpose. You've gotten what you needed to get out of those, but now it's time to move forward. The High Priestess is trusting your intuition, being divinely guided by your higher self, by your intuition. You know, that vision that you had with this like third eye right here, that vision that you had at the beginning here, now it's time to actualize that. The Eight of Wands, things can move really fast. I also feel, because the Devil is behind that, I also feel like these are part of the cards that, and then the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, which I'm going to do one of these numbers because we don't have reversals in my decks. But I feel like these cards were part of like that pack of 5 or 6 cards that almost came out. Well, they did come out and I put them back in. Things can move really fast. It's literally getting over yourself and your fears and your doubts and whatever is holding you back. With the Devil card, this could even be an obstacle. And with the Wheel of Fortune being in the reverse, which is random as hell, because like I said, I don't shuffle reversals into my decks. Stopping here at the Devil card will put you right back into like the same cycle. Like nothing would change. And I kind of feel like you want there to be change, especially like with the Empress. There's growth here, opportunity. So, like I said, the Devil could be an obstacle. Just be sure to look out for that, you know? Like it's an opportunity to allow yourself to move past a ceiling that we create for ourselves. Which, you know, I mean, that could even be what was happening with this Knight of Pentacles, because we do need to be really intentional when we come up to our quote unquote ceilings, right? Because that's where we get further away from our comfort zone. That's where we start, you know, I can't see the land anymore, you know, like I'm on a boat, you know, and you can't see the horizon or whatever anymore. That's when you start self-soothing, right? Like, I'm fine. This is, you know, I trust myself. I trust the direction. I trust my vision. I trust my intuition. You know, I get baby steps. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be, just look out for that. That'll be an opportunity for you to even just, you know, taking one baby step past that point is enough. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.